everyone, myself Harshada Bhila Dhangar. I am an assistant professor at Shivaji Zondare College of Asangaon. So my this topic I will lecture mixing chapter, then unit third. Drying is the objective, then application and mechanism of drying process. Measurement and application of equilibrium moisture content, rate of drying curve, principal construction working uses, merit and demerit. So tray dryer, drum tray dryer and spray dryer, fluidized blade dryer, vacuum dryer and freeze dryer are so important are the drying freeze dryer. So chapter is mixing same as the objective application and factors affecting mixing, difference between solid liquid mixing, mechanism of solid mixing, liquid mixing, semi solid mixing, principle of construction working uses, merit of this merit, double cone blender, twin shell blender, ribbon blender, sigma blade mixture, planetary mixture, propionary, turbulent paddle and silver soul emulsified. So, mixing chapter introduction. Mixing is defined as the unit operation that combine two or more components together by aggregation, share or mixture. The final product of mixture contain uniform distribution of both component of mixture. Objective: to obtain uniform composition of the mixed component, to enhance the physical and chemical reaction of the mixture component. Third, to improve dissolution and diffusion of mixture. Fifth, mixing critical process quality of final product depend upon their nature of mixing. Is mixing lead to non-homogeneous product? Next, proper mixing lead to decrease the batch cycle time and the operation cost. Next, to increase the dissolution or diffusion rate. Then to achieve a physical mixture, to achieve the physical mixture, then to bring a physical change, to achieve a depression and to promote a chemical reaction. Next, application of mixing. Mixing is one of the common pharmaceutical application. The few example: large scale mixing pharmacy is practiced. First, 4 point, the mixing is intermediate step in production of tablet or capsule. Mixing is power of the difference proportional prior to the granulation or tableting. Drying, mixing of material for direct compression into tablets. Next, dry mixing of powder, composite powder is capsule in infusion respectively. Then blending of the powder are also important in the preparation of cosmetic product such as facial powder and dental powder. Next, factors affecting of the mixing: nature of the product, particle size, particle shape, particle charge, then proportional of material and relative density. First of all, nature of the product. For effective mixing, particle surface should be smooth. Rough surface of one or more component lead to increase the chance of entry of active substance into the pores of another ingredient and further affect mixture. Second, particle size to erase to mix powder of same particle size. Variation in particle size lead to improper mixing. Increasing the difference in particle size will lead to segregation since small particles can fall through the void between the large particle. Particle shape, the particle should be spiral in the shape to achieve uniformly in mixing. Particle charges, some particles due to electrostatic charges exert attractive force which lead to the separation. Proportion of material, it is easy to mix powder if available in equal quantities, but to mix small quantities of powder with large quantities of ingredient is difficult process. Relative density, component have the different density, the denser material will sink through the lightweight material, the effect of which will depend on the relative position of the material in the mixture. Viscosity, surface of tension, temperature, mixture volume, aggregation time, speed, RPM is the implier, and mixing time. Evaluation of the degree of mixing. Evaluation of degree mixing. The degree of the mixing is evaluated by comparing standard derivation of sample under the investigation with estimate standard derivation of sample from fully random mixture is expressed by less. Mixing lender S2 divided by S1. How the value of mixing Next, greatly will be the homogeneity. Types of mixing, difference between the solid and liquid mixing. Solid mixing in the two or more substance intermediate by continuous movement of particles. In this the use is mixing of drying powder. Large sample size is required, high powder requires for mixing. Liquid mixing, this is the achieved by mixing element of suitable shape to act the implied to product appropriate flow pattern in mixing wells. It is used in preparation, emulsion, suspension mixture. Third, small sample size is sufficient for less powder requires mixing. Mechanism of solid-solid, converting mixing, sharing mixing, diffusing mixing. Mixing of converting mixing, mixing of the bulk particles as whole from the one container to another, also known as a bulk transport. Shear mixing, mixing of the particles using shear force by aggregator or stream of air. Diffusive mixing, diffusing mixing in material by random movement of particles along its different layer through the diffusion process. Mechanism of liquid-liquid, blood transport, turbulent flow, laminar flow, molecular diffusion. Mixing of four categories. First of all, the movement of the relative large portion of the material being mixed from one location in the system to another. Turbulent flow, characterized by the fluid have different instantaneous velocities at the same instant of time. Laminar flow, staminal flow that the encounter most commonly in highly viscous liquid. Molecular diffusion, primary mechanism responsible for mixing at the molecular level, which result from the thermal motion of the molecule governed by Fick's first law of diffusion, dm divided by dt, rate of the transport of mass across the surface area. D is a diffusion of coefficient, a as a area across which diffusion is occurring, dx divided by dc divided by dx is concentrating gradient. Mechanism of solid, semi-solid. The mechanism involved in the mixing semi-solid depend on the character of the material, which have the show consider variation. Double cone blender advantage, it is too easy to maintain the clean. There are no chances of clogging the material cone. Twin shell blender, use of tin blender uses, and thank you.